What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC, USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 9th day of October, and here we are, sitting at about 122.5K. I think I had it right the first time, and I'd like to go back to my original proposal back here on the 6th, all right? Not yesterday, not the day before, but the first time, right? And it's possible. I want to say, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Um, it is possible we could go down to 117K, maybe even just below there, maybe even just above there. It is possible we can go lower. And if we do, fine, whatever. It's all the same answer as to what I'm about to say here. But more or less, what I would expect is that we do just consolidate, right? I think that's what's going to happen. Something like this. We're just going to be moving sideways, not really going below here, not really going above here. And we not to say that we can't go above here. We could get a higher high. We could even get a lower low. Just kind of consolidating in this area though, not really going too far outside these limitations here. Maybe a horizontal kind of base channel, because again, going back to this W formation here, like this, the expectation is typically that once you get above this part of the W, you consolidate like this. You consolidate just like that, and I think we can find plenty of examples where that happens. Um, that was a perfect example right here, actually, right here with this W, right, just like that. And then what'd you do once you got above it? You moved sideways. You did exactly that. You moved like something exactly like this right here. That's exactly what we're looking for. Something exactly like that. You could even extend this W, right? Let's say the W started all the way up here. Let's say it was a giant W like this and it started all the way up there. You come all the way up. As soon as you get above the top, look at what you do. You move sideways. And it's a bigger W, so you get a bigger consolidation phase, right? Something very similar to that. Even here, W, and you consolidated. This time you broke down, unfortunately, but you get what I'm saying, right? There's three examples right there, literally right there. I'm sure we could find M patterns that do the same thing. Maybe, kind of right here. This is a failed M pattern though, right? You know it's failed because the second leg did not go down to the first leg, so it's not really. But you did kind of consolidate sideways here, and then you moved up, but not really a good example, honestly, because you didn't go all the way down to where that started. I bet you would have had a more significant consolidation phase there, but hypotheticals are pointless, so let's keep going, okay? Looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, and hold on, let me just make sure that we're all good here. You guys can hear me. Yes, everything's good. Nothing worse than getting 15 minutes into a video and then there's no sound at all. I moved my stuff, so I got to make sure that everything's plugged in properly. Anyways, enough about me. Let's talk about you. Looking at this on the 1 hour time frame here, and running with that idea that we're probably going to consolidate here, and this might be the time then when altcoins rally. Right? Let's just see others right here. What are we doing? Others, well, they're not rallying, are they? They're still consolidating. Hopefully, we get a little bit of a rally, but a little bit down today. And if it doesn't happen here, that's okay. They're going to rally soon enough. I would very much be surprised if by the end of this month we did not get some kind of significant progress forward with altcoins and the altcoin markets as a whole, crypto as a whole. Anyways, 1 hour time frame here. Looking at the RSI, the RSI is very neutral, and you can see that, right? Getting oversold, going to your overbought zone, oversold zone, right there near your overbought zone. Very neutral, very neutral reading. I suppose a little bit more bearish, but you're spending just as much time above the 50 as you are below the 50. Like, it's pretty neutral. You look like you're pointed downwards right now, so maybe we'll give it to the downside a little bit. 42 minutes left. Let's see how it goes. Pretty bearish candle there. A little bit of volume picking up, but nothing too crazy. I wouldn't expect anything dramatic from this. You could see something where you go just below these lows. Again, that's what I was saying in the beginning here, is that we could go just below this low, and right at that moment, that might be exactly where we find support. I want to draw some fibs to kind of help us out here. This looks like a failed W, doesn't it? Right? This looks just like a failed W, and with that, I would actually expect you to come lower. Maybe you turn it into an M, and you consolidate down here, and then you reverse back up, maybe. Let's see. Let's look at the 4 hour time frame. Actually, let's look at the other indicators first. Rejecting the overbought zone, bearish. Rejecting the zero, bearish on the MACD as well there. So yes, a little bit of bearishness. Let's see. The RSI is pointed downwards. Yes, this does suggest that we have lower to go, but lower to go in the RSI doesn't necessarily mean lower to go in the price. Yes, the price has to move down for the RSI to move down, but I would at this point, let's just say I would at this point expect that we go below this low. How much below this low, I don't know. But that low, just so we can put it on the chart here. This is on the Coinbase chart. On Binance, it'll be different. HTX Global, it'll be different. Even on the index, it'll be slightly different than what Coinbase is at. But for Coinbase, that's at about 120.6. Binance, it might be off by $100, but something right there. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if we found support between there and here, right? Like we barely go below 120k. Nothing too dramatic, but lower. The stochastics are also bearish, right? Rejecting the 50 is not a good look. Typically, when you do that, you do return to the oversold zone, typically. And the MACD does look bearish as well. You're setting yourself up for a little bit of a bounce here. Coming down, maybe we go just a little bit lower and we bounce there. That could promote decay for another day or two, and then Sunday we come back up. Hey, sounds like something that just happened recently, actually. No bullish divergence there. I believe all these indicators are implying that we do go lower, so I'm going to stick with that idea. Okay, we're going to bump out to the daily time frame here. All right, let's just see. Delete these guys so we can leave those up. I do want to draw some fibs. I did say that, and I meant it. I just wanted to do it on the daily time frame to gauge where we were overall. Let's see. Are we? And I want to leave these lines here. Is there a way? Can I make them invisible and then bring them back? How do I bring them back? How would I? Is it? I don't know how I would bring them back. Right? There's two drawings still, but how do I bring, if I make them invisible, see, this is where my trading view skills are out the window. That's okay. So maybe what I'll do then is just draw this fib, high to low, and then I'll delete those lines. There we go. And then I can bring it back if I need to. So here we are finding support at the 786, 886, which is actually right there at one of those, it's right there at that low, right there at that low. We literally found support right at the 786, beautiful. Prior area of resistance there. If we were to go lower, it's very common in this area to find support at the golden ratio. If we were to go lower, somewhere in this area, it doesn't even have to be directly at this line, but look at how that's right there with prior resistance. So 117, 118K, very acceptable area to go down to. I'm not saying that it's possible that we go down there or likely that we go down there. That's the implied move. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying if we were to go down here, it's very acceptable, very normal, very healthy, right? And then overall, I mean, just look at that, right? That'd be a higher low and a series of higher lows, so it's not a problem. However, I don't think we go down there. I think we hold true to this area here. But that fib, I suppose this fib does open the doors up a little bit more to going down here because of how normal it is to back test that golden ratio for support. Anyways, get that other line back on there and then draw this fib here from a low to a high. Low to a high. The 382 is also right at that line there, at this lower line right here, which I forget why we derived that line. Where did that line come from? Was it on the 1 hour or the 4 hour time frame that we drew that? Was it from this low? Is that what it was? Yeah, it was. It was from this low here. Okay, so around that area. That makes sense, yeah. Daily time frame. I mean, it would make sense to go to the 382. What I will say is that it's very common in very powerful movements, which we are in a powerful move. Undoubtedly, we're in a powerful move. There's a little bit of significance here at the 382, so we could come down here. It's very common to hold the 236 in a powerful move and then move up. We actually saw that happen multiple times, several times back in April here, right? If we look at this from a low to a high here, you held the 236 as support there. Low to high here, or maybe it wasn't that low to high. Maybe it was this low to high. You held the 236 kind of as support there. We take this overall low and we put it, or maybe it's now this low. We take this low to high. And you found support there at that 236 as well. And then we take the overall low, put it at the high there. You found support at the 236 as well. And you even wicked through it. and this is going to go counter to what I'm about to tell you. Okay, what you're seeing here, how that upheld and you still moved higher. Typically, this kind of wick is okay. This normally dictates that you go to the 382 before you move up. It's uncommon doing this and not hitting the 382 and then moving up. That's super uncommon. It's not. It doesn't happen. It's like less than a 10% chance of happening. Okay, it's very probably even like a 5% chance or less of it happening. It's not common. But sometimes the uncommon things become a fad, a trend. Sometimes in charts, even if it's uncommon, you can find like a season, let's call it, where it's common to do the uncommon thing. Does that make sense? Charts take like a personality of their own. They go through seasons of their life, and this could be a season where, right now, you're kind of doing this thing where I would expect, especially with this multiple interactions below this 236, I would expect that we likely do go to the 382. We likely do go right there, bounce off of that, and then we find support. But we might be in a season of our lives where Bitcoin does this and it doesn't go to the 382. It's holding up and it's doing that uncommon thing that happens less than 5% of the time, but the odds of it happening are a little bit more likely now. I'm not trying to bore you guys with the semantics, but I'm just saying there's other reasons beyond just this 236 to find support right here. However, I do stand by it. It wouldn't be crazy at all to go a little bit lower. If I'm going off of my own analysis, what I would feel the most confident in calling for is yes, Bitcoin probably does go down to 119.3K, find support there, and then move up. It's extremely common with the 382 to even wick a little bit below there. So if we make our way below 119K, it's fine. Okay. But again, the idea here that we were first running with, that we could just move sideways, is also a valid thought, right? We could see something like this happen, and maybe it doesn't last this long. But perhaps going into the rest of this week, and maybe even going into either Sunday or Monday next week, Sunday this week, Monday, Tuesday next week, something like that. And then we should start to move higher. I'm very much bullish on Bitcoin. I'm very much expecting that we have higher to go. The RSI overall is very bullish. We're actually at an area where you'd expect to bounce, to be completely fair, at the 60 here. It's not bad. If we close here and tomorrow's green, watch out, guys. That could be good for the price. That's for damn sure. Stochastics are bullish, but you're coming out of the overbought zone. Typically, you would expect to see the stochastics go down to the 50 and then bounce, or the 60 and then bounce, or oversold zone and then bounce. We'll see how it goes. Any one of those options is fine. The MACD is bullish overall too, but you're decaying in bullish momentum. So this is that moment where we're just consolidating. I think all these indicators are showing that they made their move, consolidate, breathe a little bit. We're in our third day of breathing here. Let's see how we do on our 6th or 7th day, maybe even our 10th day. Sometimes that's how these happen. In fact, if we go back here real quick before we move on with the new high price projections, we look here. Whenever you moved up here, how long was it that you consolidated before you broke out? It was on the 9th day that you broke out. Here, let's just say you started consolidating here, but consolidating upwards. When did you really start to break out? On the 14th day is when you were moving, but really it was like the 16th day that you broke out, right? We'll count it as like the 14th day you started to move there. You were in this consolidation range for 9 days, 14 days, then you started to break out, right? Here, this one was a little bit larger. Oh, let me turn that off. Hold on, guys. Yeah, we're going to turn that off because that is... What the heck was that, man? That's annoying. Anyways, I hope I surprise some people, right? You never know. Are people wearing pants or are they not wearing pants? That's anyways, 112.8K right now. Let's see. Let's see here. Where were we? All right, just talking about the timing of this. It can last. It can last just over a week, just about 2 weeks. It can last for a little while. I'd be surprised if we consolidated for 2 weeks, but something maybe between like a week and 2 weeks might seem more appropriate. We're in our 1, 2, 3, third day now, so we probably have more consolidation to go. And in this time, we're looking for altcoins to start to rally. We're looking for altcoins to pump, and then what's going to happen if this is alt season, guys? Mark my words. This is. Oop, that's my daughter. I'm going to go check on her real quick. I think she's okay. She was just yelling. Sometimes she does that when she's watching a show. I don't know if you guys heard that, but hold on. I'm going to make this real quick. We're almost done. Altcoins should move up first. And this is how we know we're in alt season. We move up first, and then Bitcoin's chilling, consolidating. Then altcoins will sell off, and then that's whenever Bitcoin will run. something like that, right? Altcoins will sell off. The profits from altcoins go into Bitcoin. La di da. We go back and forth. That's how it is. The expectation for Bitcoin, where it's going to go, its next high area is something of about 130 to 136k, somewhere in there. That's the next stopping point. Here's our current stopping point. Then we'll go up here. We'll stop up in here, and then we'll go higher, expecting prices at about 150k or 180k by the end of the month, somewhere up in here. And if not, by the end of the month, going into November. Anyways, I got nothing else. I'm gonna go check on that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye.